Imagine standing on a muddy battlefield in 1815, surrounded by smoke, cannon fire, and marching armies. Within a single day, the fate of Europe would be decided. The Battle of Waterloo was not just a clash between armies, it was the final chapter of Napoleon's ambition, a turning point that reshaped politics, borders, and power across the continent. Today, we explore the story behind that decisive day, the strategy, the mistakes, and the consequences that still echo through history. Before Waterloo, Napoleon Bonaparte had already become a legend. Rising from modest beginnings, he seized control of France during a time of revolution and instability. Through military brilliance and relentless ambition, he conquered vast territories. His reforms modernized administration, law, and education across Europe. But his expansion sparked fear. Coalitions formed again and again to stop him. After devastating campaigns and mounting opposition, he was defeated and exiled in 1814. Yet exile did not end his story. He returned. In what became known as the 100 Days, Napoleon regained control of France and prepared for one final confrontation. European powers quickly responded. Britain, Prussia, Austria, and others formed another alliance. Two major armies stood in Napoleon's path. British-led forces under Wellington-Prussian, forces under Napoleon's plan was simple: defeat them separately before they could unite. Speed and precision had always been his strength, but time was no longer on his side. Waterloo's terrain played a crucial role. Heavy rain turned the ground to mud, slowing troop movement and artillery deployment. Napoleon delayed the attack until late morning, hoping the ground would dry. That delay allowed coalition forces more time to prepare and coordinate. Sometimes history shifts, not through grand strategy, but through weather, timing, and circumstance. The fighting opened with artillery bombardment. Infantry assaults targeted key defensive positions. Hours of brutal combat followed. Charges, countercharges, and constant gunfire defined the battlefield. Napoleon committed wave after wave of troops, trying to break Wellington's lines. At moments, success seemed possible, but Wellington's forces held firm. Late in the day, the expected reinforcement arrived, not for Napoleon, but against him. Prussian troops entered the battlefield. Their attacks stretched French forces to breaking point. Pressure mounted from multiple directions. Coordination collapsed. Momentum shifted. Napoleon's elite guard made a final, desperate advance, but it failed. That failure sealed the outcome. French lines disintegrated. Retreat turned chaotic. Victory belonged to the coalition. Napoleon's military dominance was over. He surrendered weeks later and was exiled permanently. No comeback would follow. Waterloo reshaped Europe. It ended decades of revolutionary wars. It ushered in a period of political balance among major powers. It prevented further imperial expansion under Napoleon. The battle demonstrated how alliances, coordination, and resilience could overcome even legendary leadership. Most importantly, it showed that history can pivot on a single day. Waterloo was more than a military event. It was the end of an era and the beginning of another. Empires rise, empires fall, and sometimes the future of nations is decided in mud, smoke, and thunder. Thank you for exploring history with us. Stay curious, and see you in the next episode.